Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Tea and Questions. Now, one thing to talk about before we properly begin is I talked about working out last time and just like what I do, and someone asked me basically, how it works for me working out, what I do, and all that. And so I talked about it, and I got a lot of feedback about it. I was expecting it. I've seen a lot of this stuff happen to a lot of people, and you make like a slight mention of the thing you do, and everyone gives their opinion. And sometimes it's a negative thing, sometimes it's a positive thing. And I wanted to say thank you, because even though I've seen all these reactions so many times, there's people talking about like what they do to exercise and stuff. It was mostly, if not all, positive and really helpful and really interesting stuff. It wasn't like ramming information into you, but it was more just like suggestions and things that might help me. So I wanted to say thank you for such a great response, and again, reaffirming that I have an awesome community watching me. And to do with like a lot of the suggestions and stuff, what I gotta say is, I like to sort of stay at the place that I'm at, but I have bigger goals, right? So I do the things that I do to sort of stay where I am, and then sort of at some point go for the thing that I want to do. And some people were making suggestions on how to take that next step. And what I gotta say is, I think I really need to get a personal trainer, because that way I'll be paying someone, and then I'll be like forced, I guess, to like go do this thing because I'm paying this person, they're waiting for me, it's a scheduled time, I have to get up, I've got to go do this thing, right? And that helps me do stuff. So a personal trainer would be there making sure that I'm there doing it, and then they might be telling me what I need to do and telling me what to eat, specific to me as well, and just doing like workouts and whatnot that suit me. So thank you for all your feedback. I have a plan, but I do actually appreciate a lot of the actual stuff that people were saying, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. So we can actually begin the show, but first I gotta take a sip of the tea. Honey Drew says, have you ever considered at some point of your YouTube censoring some content or minimizing swearing to appeal to a bigger audience? And someone actually responded to this. I didn't like put that down in my notes, but someone responded and said something along the lines of, I've stopped swearing a lot more than I used to, so I must be censoring myself or something like that. I am misquoting you there, I understand that, so don't worry, I'm not saying you're a jerk for saying that or something. I'm just saying someone then highlighted that I have indeed been swearing less, and it seems like I'm censoring myself or something. And this is more of a personal thing. So yes, we talked about not too long ago about like a crazy YouTuber who, I don't know, someone who's being like overly like friendly and child friendly and all that, and we had to talk about that basically, and some sides of it that are good and some sides that are bad, right? But we already covered that. So what you're saying is, would I ever consider that? And I talked about that, but the main thing is swearing is a part of something that I do. Cursing is something that I do, and for me personally, I wish I wouldn't do that. And I have made efforts to not swear as much. But the thing is, that doesn't actually have anything to do with my YouTube, right? The reason I'm like trying to stop swearing is because there are cases where, I'm making new friends and stuff, and I don't want to swear in front of them because, what if they don't like swearing, and I want to respect that person and what they like and what don't like. And I don't want to swear in front of someone. Hell, man, it happens in like business situations, and, when I'm meeting like other YouTubers, and when I go on like these yearly things to Paradox conventions and such, I catch myself swearing a lot, and it becomes more like pronounced to me when I'm in front of people who I should probably not be swearing in front of, like it's not deemed the right time, I guess, to be like cursing and whatnot. You don't want to be doing that. So for me, it's like a personal thing that I'm just so used to doing that I don't mind doing, but there are times where I shouldn't be swearing. I don't want to be swearing. I personally do not want to be swearing, and I'm like subconsciously, without even thinking about it, doing it. So I have, yes, made a mental effort to try and tone it down. I still swear, I still curse when appropriate, and it's satisfying and fun to me to swear. I don't know, it's just like, fuck is just a satisfying thing to say. And even though it's a curse, I don't really mean it in like a malicious way or anything. It's fun to say, and it adds flavour to a sentence, I guess. But like I said, there are times where you just shouldn't be swearing, and there are times where I've found myself in situations where I just have been. So yes, I've been trying to minimize on swearing in general, but for a personal reason, not anything to do with like trying to censor myself to gain a bigger audience. I don't think I'm pushing people away, apart from, I guess, like really young people whose like parents don't want to have them watching someone swearing, but I'm not trying to cater to that type of audience, so it's fine for me. So thought I'd just talk about that topic there for a few minutes, because yes, I have been swearing a lot less, and I'm actually happy about it. Being Draug, a long-time viewer, recognise that name a lot, says, Hey Hollow, seeing as you love both Dark Souls and Isaac, and they are both considered to be very difficult games, being very different to each other, I would like to know which you would consider to be more difficult, and which pulls off the difficult equals fun type of genre better. The instant reaction I have is Isaac. Now, I love Dark Souls. I love the Dark Souls lore and the world and everything, but I can't get over this feeling with Dark Souls 2 that they've messed it up a bit. It's a fun game. I love Dark Souls 2. I like the lore and everything, and it was really fun. But I found Dark Souls 1 to just be like the right level of hard and rewarding, instead of just like bullshit mechanics that just piss you off. Hell, Smelter Demons, the 2 Smelter Demons that are in the game, the one in the DLC and the one that's just in the game, they were just ridiculous. And getting to them, you know, the first Smelter Demon wasn't so bad because you were running through this sort of hard area, but you could deal with it in a methodical way. Once you worked out the pattern of enemy type, yeah, and how they work, you could sort of deal with it, dodge skillfully, and make it through the area, and eventually, before long, you're speed running through and dodging everything at the right time and waiting, and it's really fun in the Iron Keep, yeah? In the Dark Souls 2 part, in the DLC part of Smelter Demon 2, rehashed content, man, basically, it's this area where there's, like, a slow effect, right? There's a permanent slow effect being channeled while you're there. So your endurance is terrible and you're moving really slowly. There's like 6 different guys coming at you once who attack really fast and stun you and do a lot of damage on top of a spellcaster at the same time, firing this like golden yellow ball that comes at you, and if it lands anywhere near you, knocks you off your feet and does some damage, and it just overall fucks you if you get hit by it. So you're forced to sort of speed run through this area, or take, I don't know, half an hour to get through this area before every single Smelter Demon 2 attempt. I hated that. And there are some bosses in original Dark Souls 2 before the DLC that are like that. And I don't know, with Dark Souls 2, there's a lot of hate and love that I have for the game with a lot of certain parts of it. Hell, with Dark Souls 1, you know, we'll look at the Bed of Chaos fight. That was awful, and they accepted that that was awful. That was in Dark Souls 1. You know, really bad, basically. Overall, like I said, the lore of the game is amazing. I love the game. I love Dark Souls in general, but they've fucked it up a few times. It's just a theme that they have fucked it up a few times. Whereas Isaac, for me, is like consistent. The level just goes up and up and up, and it feels solid and smooth, and there's no like, oh, this is bullshit. This is bullshit, because no matter what happens, ultimately, it's your fault, and you always have the opportunity to stop the damage and do the right thing. In every room ever, I feel, some rooms are harder than others, but there's always that potential, if you know what you're doing, to avoid that damage. Whereas in Dark Souls, the recent DLC stuff that I've been going against, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like you got to take damage and you got to heal at the right time, you know? Now, there are a lot of, like, you know, parts of the game that are not like that, and you could avoid the damage at all points, sure, but I don't know, it feels like a gauntlet right now, Dark Souls 2. A lot of the stuff is just like a gauntlet, and I don't like gauntlets. So, yeah, that's my opinion on Dark Souls. I like Dark Souls, but I find Isaac is the better game in terms of giving you a challenge and giving you that fair chance to beat it. So I would say Isaac pulls off the difficult equals fun aspect a lot more than Dark Souls. For me personally, this doesn't mean it's fact. You might have a different opinion about the two games, and that's completely fine. Jack asks, hey, I'm in year 11 and I don't have many close friends, and I really don't like that. It makes me feel kind of lonely. Do you have any ideas on what I could do after school or whatever to make some more friends or meet some new people? And this question struck quite hard with me, because in year 10 and 11, I had a friend group that I absolutely just despised. Like, these people were the best that I had at my school. Like, I could get along with the best. Like, they like were the most compatible with me or something, you know. They were my friends, or closest thing to friends that I had in school. And I found myself like hating them, you know, because the things that they said to each other, about each other, the way they acted, the way they treated each other, I just did not like it. And, you know, when it came to the end of year 11, I told them, I'm done with you, you know, we're not friends anymore. We weren't friends for a long time, and I'm telling you, we are not friends, and I'm not interacting with you. And that was it. And I went somewhere else and I stopped. And during this time, I was really like just in life there wasn't many people that I could consider like a good friend in person, you know? A lot of my old friends through high school changed, and, you know, I wasn't friends with them anymore, and these friends that I had that I just despised, you know, they weren't working for me, they were dicks to each other and to me, basically. And I just, you know, I grew backbone and threw them away, basically, after a bit. But there was a period where I just didn't have many close friends. And what got me through that, personally, is you're saying, where can I find some friends that are suitable to me, you know, that I get along with, that are my friends? For me, I played a lot of WoW during this time, World of Warcraft, through Wrath and whatnot. And I had a great time there, and I met a lot of people. And the thing is, online on the internet, there's a lot of people just converging in one place. And usually, if you're doing something that you're interested in, there'll be other people also interested in that thing. And that's where you make friends, right? So for me, I was playing World of Warcraft and interacted with other people who love World of Warcraft, and then made friends with them and got to know them. And that really got me through those couple of years, you know, having friends. My real life, like, at school during those times was, you know, fine and everything, but I just didn't like the people I was hanging around with, and I just felt like, yeah, these aren't friends, you know? These aren't friends. And it was a struggle. But every day after school, I would come home and I'd play WoW for a bit, and I just really have a great time talking to these people online, because you think about it, you've got a massive ocean of potential friends, right, on the internet, because it's so many people coming together, right? And in your school, you've probably got like a couple classes, and that's like, what, 30 people in each class, and then a lot of those people in like in the other classes, so it's like 50 people to choose from. You're a lot less likely to find like the people that work as friends for you in a small pond compared to an ocean of people. So yeah, you're saying like do sports outside school and join clubs. That's a good idea. You know, you're saying you're struggling that you know, to find the right people, and sports might not interest you or whatever. You have to choose the right thing. Sports isn't the only option, you know. There are lots of different kind of activities that you can do outside of school and clubs. Just like look at the selection of things that you can do at your school that your school might host or something. That's a really good idea, to sort of see if you could make some friends there. Or ultimately, you know, the internet's kind of good for it. But my main advice for you, which is what I learned, is don't try so hard, you know? Accept that in life, you only have like however long, right? So why should you care so much about other people making you happy? The main thing for you is to enjoy life and experience some awesome things, right? And you should be happy as who you are. So sure, you want interaction with other people and make friends. That's great. That's important to have friends. But I want you to know that you should be happy like as yourself, and you shouldn't be desperate to find friends and accepting anything. You only have so long. You have an infinite amount of people that you are going to meet in your life. Don't take any shit, you know? You can choose. You can take the good option and fuck the bad option, you know? It doesn't matter. If someone isn't a good friend to you, don't be friends with them. Don't be desperate to just have some fake friends that make you feel bad or something like that, you know? Just know that in life, you're going to make a lot of friends, and you're going to have some bad times, you have some good times. And all you need to like focus on is just enjoying the journey, pretty much, is how I feel about it anyway. And you're going to make friends along the way. So don't feel like you're so desperate to make friends. Go do things that you enjoy, and the friends will happen while you're enjoying yourself. Just focus on being happy yourself, and don't draw happiness from other people. Because if those people leave, and often people change and can leave, that might leave you unhappy. And that's, I don't know, man. That was a hell of a tangent, and I just wanted to put the point across that happiness should come from yourself and not from other people, because that's just never going to work, you know? And man, that was a long, we went places, man. We went places, and I just hope that helped you somewhere along the way there. Jesus. Gemma Lockers asks, do you think you would still be friends with Rage if the crew wasn't a thing? I thought this was an interesting question, and there was some stuff like this. Another question, something like, have you ever come close to being not friends with Rage anymore and stuff? And you know, I wanted to cover that. Rage is my best friend. Josh is my best friend. I met him in high school during this time, during year 11, when I didn't have many real life friends. And we played WoW together, and I considered him a good friend, right, during this time. Because even though I didn't really interact with him in person that much, we spent some time in WoW and had a lot of fun together. And we weren't, judging each other like a lot of my other friends were, and it was a good friend and turned out to be my best friend before long, you know? And everyone has fights, you know? At some point, the person you love most is going to piss you off, you know? Whether it's your best friend or, I don't know, your relationship partner. I'm not going to say boyfriend or girlfriend because whatever. But yeah, the person that your partner, I guess. Or your parents or your dog or anything. Something's going to happen that's going to piss you off in direction to that thing or person, right? And you just have to go, doesn't matter. This person's still important to me. And just because their opinion slightly differs here on this one thing in life, or they did this thing that pissed me off, that doesn't necessarily mean they're a terrible person overall. You just got to watch out for if someone's treating you like shit for a long period of time, right? And then that's when you say fuck off, basically. But with Rage, Josh, we have arguments all the time, you know? We might differ on opinion on something, but that doesn't matter. We came together and played WoW together when we were like 15 and turned 16 and, you know, got to be friends, and then throughout like 17, 18 stayed friends even though we didn't have any other interactions. We still stayed friends and played games together and just got on really well. And over this period of time, we've just stuck together, and it was for a long time just me and him as friends, and other people came and went who were dicks and whatnot, and we just said, no, we don't like you. We get along, you know, we're nice to each other and we get along, we enjoy working together and doing everything, whatever, we're just friends, right? Whereas other people came in and out and had bad things or whatever. But ultimately, even though me and Rage have stuck together and had a lot of interaction with a lot of people over a long time, we still remained friends. And the crew is ultimately just, you know, Evans came along and we started talking to him and we were just friends with him. And then Will came along, Gubiak came along, and Duke and Tide and everyone, you know, they came in to what was mine and Josh's, you know, we were just going along our path, and then they've sort of come along and, you know, they're there now, you know, and it's really awesome. Just because, like, one might go, like, Tide hasn't been around a lot because of his internet and his real life, doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna not like Rage or something, you know, he's my best mate. Like, it is, ultimately, we're, like, on a very similar path going down life. And if something happens with one of the members of our friends or something, that doesn't mean we're going to change because we're friends. If, for example, I don't know, just an example, one of them just decided to hate me, I wouldn't then go, okay, Josh, you can't be friends with them or you're not friends with me. That's just like immature high school bullshit, right? That's never going to happen. And I just wanted to talk about that. Like, this is just how it is. So there you go. All right, final question comes from Kate Ander. Hey man, my screen just went to sleep there, that was good. Just a question, if feminism is the pursuit of gender equality, why is it called feminism? Yeah, the naming of feminism is a little bit weird sometimes, but I talked about feminism last time, I talked about it in some previous episodes, and it always brings up this crazy debate and different opinions and stuff. And I could cover how, you know, a lot of males have said in my comments, you know, but the genders are equal and everything's fine because I am a male and everything's fine for me, and I've not really seen, I don't think I've been a dick to a girl, so then all men are nice to women and it's fair and equal and stuff, which is not true. I just want to say that this is my opinion, right? And it is in no means right just because I believe it, right? And it's not fact. I am a white male. I'm privileged as fuck, you know? I don't have the terrible things happening to me like a lot of people do. I have seen so many videos of like, and reports on a place called Ferguson in America is insane for racist stuff that's happening right now. 3 dead black teenagers have been just shot by white policemen, and these white policemen are getting away with it, and it's bullshit, basically. You know, in life, there is inequality. It's hard to ever find it, right? I've seen like a video today of a white police officer, just this like, I don't know, 50-something-year-old white police officer, forcing his way into a house of this black male and just arresting him for pretty much no reason. And it's like blatantly racism, like right in front of me. That is not equality. That is not like feminism, right? You know, that's not like anything to do with females. That's just an example where the human race is not equal for some fucking reason. You know, it doesn't make sense. Gay people, for example, have so much hate thrown at them and have had hate thrown at them for so long. And like, you know, zealous Christian people. I'll take this as an example. There is Christian people who hate gay people and treat them like shit because at some point in their crazy book that says, you know, oh, you know, we gotta like throw stones at people, slaves are fine, also don't have sex with a man. Doesn't actually say that at any point. It says man must not lie with man. Not specific at all, right? That doesn't mean gay people are wrong or something. But on the other side of that, there are so many wonderful, kind, loving Christians who understand that the whole idea of Christianity is to love thy neighbour and treat everyone fairly and show love to everyone and I guess be happy in general. And the whole idea of heaven and all that, whatever. But the idea that they take from that is that everyone should love one another and, you know, treat each other with acceptance. And there are, with both everything really, there are some Christians that just treat people terribly if they're not Christian and say, oh, they're not of God and treat them awful. And then there are people who are Christians and treat people wonderfully and, you know, are the right kind of Christian, I guess, you know, a nice person. And there are white people who, you know, are racist, for example, and there are people who are not, such as myself. You know, and in life there's a lot of inequality, basically. And what feminism is to me, I think it is females trying to strive for equality for the female gender. So it's called feminism because it is the idea of a woman wanting equality for women, right? So feminism because it's a female and equality. That's like the combination, yes? That's how I feel about it. And yeah, we got on a few tangents here. A lot of things have been said and it was really interesting and it was interesting to think about. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I understand there's probably going to be like an uproar in the comments at some point because it happens every time I talk about racism or inequality or feminism or colouring my hair or gay people or anything like that, you know. There are a lot of different opinions and it all comes from, I guess, it comes from ignorance. And the thing is, I personally am very ignorant of a lot of things, but I try to keep my mind open and not jump to a conclusion or make a bold statement. I just say what I think and what I know so far, and I'm willing to change my mind based on new information, and that is okay to be wrong, you know? So that's how I feel about it right now at 21 years old. And that may change in the upcoming years, and that's fine. And I just wanted to try and talk about it, to try and educate some of my viewers on my opinion on it, and maybe they might realize something and their opinion might change for the better. I don't know. But there you go. There you go. It's been a bit of a long episode this week. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I'm sorry if you didn't or something. You know, I always have these concerns when I talk about these comments and these types of topics and whatnot. But I think it's interesting. So there you go. So if you've got a question, you've been inspired to ask one, or you just have one in general, then please leave it as a comment on this video and I'll go through the comments and pick a question maybe, and it might get highlighted in this episode. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. I'll see you next time, guys. I'm gonna drink the rest of this tea and not talk for like an hour because holy shit, that was crazy. Oh, see you next time, guys.